Cindy's Choice Show, and you are listening on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. You can also catch us on 95.3 FM HD4. We're on TuneIn Radio. Universally, you can catch us on TuneIn Radio, on Shoutcast. We're live streaming on YouTube. Everybody wave at YouTube. And we are live streaming on Facebook as well. And thanks for joining us on Facebook. You'll want to stay tuned today. I have some really awesome guests for you here on Nooga Radio. I am Cindy, and this is the Cindy's Choice Show, and it is Cindy's choice to make a positive impact in our community. I do that through cultivating community collaboration. Our business gathers businesses that complement each other and have the same target market. We provide them shared marketing management, allowing amazing cost savings with much added value. And I have some great sponsors to brag on, but first, I want to introduce our awesome guests for today. I have Dr. Blaise Baxter with me and Dr. Steve Winters as well. Hi, Dr. Baxter. How are you?
Great, Cindy. How are you? Thanks for having us on your show today.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. And hi, Dr. Winters.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, just absolutely wonderful. And first of all, guys, I got to do some bragging here on our wonderful sponsors that allow this platform for me to share the wonderful things that you guys are involved in over at Erlanger. And one of those is Chicken Salad Chick.
And they're in the hospital.
Isn't that amazing?
Awesome. We're very happy.
So did you just recently have your first Chicken Salad Chick experience?
No, actually, we treat the crew to Chicken Salad Chick fairly regularly. So we're,
awesome.
we're seasoned veterans. So
wonderful.
But I had it last night. So.
I want to ask you, though, did you know, because I was sharing with you before the show that as a doctor, I'm sure you know a lot of statistics, and our obesity rate here in Tennessee is off the charts, not good. Yeah. Did you know that the classic Carol recipe is 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten?
Yeah, well, that's good. That's great. So that's a good opportunity, for people, our patients, to certainly have a good healthy option.
Exactly. I think that's why I think it's the perfect marriage. That's a good place for Chicken Salad Chick to be. And then another one of our wonderful sponsors is Nova Advisors. Nova Advisors is a contingency-based business service. They bring a variety of strategies to reclaim or save business operational costs with no upfront fees. There's no upfront fees. And without requiring you to change vendors or make operational changes. That's novaadvisors.us. That's novaadvisors.us. And you can find Chicken Salad Chick at chickensaladchickchattanooga.com. chickensaladchickchattanooga.com. Now, I do have one more little promo I want to include.
Sure.
I'm from Houston.
Yeah.
And it has been, I'm going through some major survivor's guilt, I think.
Yeah.
I've watched firsthand on my Facebook feed my friends requesting rescue and some really scary incidents and some heartbreaking losses. And I'm rallying support along with my buddy, Rick Cadena. Rick is the GM at the Courtyard at Hamilton Place over on BAMS Road. I think it's 2210 BAMS Drive, actually. And we're coordinating with the Greater, I want to get this right, the Greater Chattanooga Hospitality Association, and we're gathering relief supplies to be sent to Texas. And we're kicking that off today. So if you, I want to strongly suggest people bring boxes so that we can box the items. Water that's the big request out there. Things like hand sanitizer, mosquito repellent, non-perishable food, always, cleaning items. You can Google, and there's all sorts of stuff about Harvey and the best way to help. But we are kicking that off today. If you want to take your items over to the Courtyard at Hamilton Place, we are glad to get those out to Texas for you, and there'll be more about that. We're about to start a major campaign for that. Now, let's just jump right in with my very intriguing guest. And I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Devlin. Dr. Thomas Devlin is the doctor that connected me with Dr. Baxter. And they are doing some pretty amazing things over there. And with stroke, it's neurosciences, right?
Sure.
That's how we say it, neurosciences. And specifically, you guys work with stroke victims, right?
Correct. Yeah. So stroke is a huge disease in our area. We're about 300% the national average. So really the southern states have been termed the stroke belt of the country. So unfortunately, it's a disease that we see way too often, Cindy, and it cuts across all demographics. We're really happy today to have one of our stroke patients, a stroke survivor, who is totally normal. And so what really has been a milestone medical thing that's happened just recently is really that there's been a very effective treatment come for stroke. And it's an emergency sort of treatment. If you think of heart attack, everyone knows, hey, I'm having a heart attack. I have to get to the hospital right away. That's the same for stroke now.
Yes. Well, it's crazy because can date myself, but I spent a lot of time in South Texas in the 80s, and there's a large retirement community down there. And I met numerous people that had experienced strokes, and half their body was paralyzed.
Right.
And it was just almost like, oh, that's common. That's what happens when you have a stroke, and that's the thing you get in your mind. Yeah. And then when I heard Dr. Devlin speak recently, he asked the audience, he's like, well, how many people know someone or have been affected by stroke? Well, 99.9% of the hands went up. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is huge. So then when he started sharing the amazing things that are going on to where you can catch these things. And I know one of those is through Corinne's story, where she is not as recognizable and someone with the kind of stroke that she had.
Right. That's right. So you wouldn't look and say, hey, this person, intuitively, maybe someone that's going to have a stroke. We see, unfortunately, patients in their 20s, 30s, healthy, patients, like Corinne, who've lived a healthy lifestyle, but, the heart can be a problem for us. So sometimes people don't know that their heart is in a funny kind of rhythm we call atrial fibrillation, and it's not, pumping as effectively. A little clot can form, and that clot often breaks loose and goes and blocks a blood vessel at the base of the brain. And so the treatment for us is the same kind of thing, where we want to get that blood vessel open on a very fast timeline. Kind of the science of it is as soon as that vessel is blocked, I tell people, like, the downstream brain is kind of, holding its breath. So about 2 million neurons every minute are dying, during that process. So we have to reverse that process very quickly. And so our world now is we're plumbers. We want to get in there, and we have clot pluckers, clot suckers, and we try to get the vessel open. So we're trying to get that blood flow back as fast as we can.
I like that analogy. When I lived in Houston, I was a contractor, so I get the necessity of the role of the plumber in the whole spectrum of things. Now, Dr. Winters, so what is? I want to know your particular roles as part of this team.
Yeah, so let me introduce. So Steve Winters is from New Zealand, but trained in Australia, and so really, like I said, this treatment of getting a vessel open very quickly. So when someone hits our door at the hospital, we're exact same as like kind of cardiac world. We want to get them right to a cath table, where we do all this through a minimally invasive procedure. Just make a little small incision at the top of your leg, go into the artery, use the artery as kind of the highway to get to the brain vessels.
Okay, right. Yeah, slow down. All right, now you're going
into I'm derailing your intro, but
you're going into the top of your leg.
So just
you speak to this, Dr. Winters. Yeah. All right, so what's he talking about? What is he talking about?
Right. So he came from Australia. Australia was very pivotal in doing a lot of this work as well, and so we have a lot of collaborative efforts. Yes, Steve, tell us about the path to get there. So,
and I got to let you know, guys, it's because this is. I mean, it's. I'm not afraid to ask the dumb questions. That's why I'm here, because I'll dig in deeper to those questions that a listener might be wondering that if I was more knowledgeable, I wouldn't know to ask. But so what's he talking about?
It's a very special procedure. We make a small incision at the top of the leg, usually on the right side, and we get access into the artery itself. And we feed using a bunch of wires and tubes, and we manipulate those things and manipulate them all the way up to the arteries in the brain.
Wow, that's amazing.
Special devices, as you said, clot suckers and clot pluckers.
Well, and that's how, when I was connected with Dr. Baxter, that's what I was told. Is he's a master at getting out there and plucking clots out of brains.
Well, I have a great team. So I'm one of 4 physicians, and then Dr. Winters has joined us. To come to we're usually in Chattanooga because of, unfortunately, this high, prevalence of stroke that we have. We're usually number 1 or 2 in the country for the number of patients that we treat with these procedures. And so Steve's come to, spend some time, but myself and 3 other colleagues, Dr. Steve Crawford, Harris Hawk, Justin Calvert, and our crew of nurses and techs. So the big team gets mobilized. So when someone comes into the hospital, we, like I said, kind of hit the ground running. We're trying to get that patient to the table to perform this procedure. But really, what's been pioneered is a lot of the, as with anything, technical advances. So the advances in these catheters and wires and things that we use and the tools that we use to fish the clot out or suck it out have been the thing that have changed and allowed us to be able to get access to these vessels in the brain. And so we just participated in kind of the worldwide studies. Again, I said Australia was a very big participating country in one pivotal trial, but the world sort of figured it out through trials that this is, the best treatment. And it's actually in history sort of proven to be one of the most powerful treatment effects ever. So if you open this vessel, we only need to, treat about, 1 in 3 or 4 patients to make them, like our guest with us today, walk out of the hospital neurologically intact. So that's a new thing for stroke, because just like you said, your impression of stroke, and a lot of people, okay, hey, there's no hurry kind of thing. Like, there's really nothing that can be done. They're going to tuck you in an ICU and you'll have disability. You'll have to try to get over that, go to rehab. That happens for patients, obviously, still, but obviously this treatment, if we can get people and we can get the public aware that, call 911, get to the hospital, let us evaluate you, and if you are this type of candidate, we can do something now. And a number of people like Miss Statton are walking out of the hospital. Okay.
And that's what she did, and that's why I'm feeling so blessed to have this platform to offer to make the public aware. Right. So many listeners have heard me, on preach about getting outside. I have a Nooga Radio's outdoors program. Right. And a lot of my motivation for that is I'm an outdoor enthusiast. I'm a mountain bike rider. I'm a hiker. I'm a hang glider pilot. I love the outdoors. I just took my kids kayaking. I love all that. But what I really love sharing is the healthy culture. Yeah, it's not just the healthy outdoor activity, the culture of the people. Yeah. They're in just like I was talking about how I love the culture at Erlanger. There's a really, really awesome culture there of people that truly care and that are gifted and, all working in the same direction. So that's what I love using this platform for. So I'd like to, more of your team will include more of them, because I know y'all have a big project. Right. I know that the focus is the Children's Hospital right now, and we're loving that, and we want to get that done. But y'all have a big project coming up.
So neuroscience, which is the umbrella that stroke gets treated. So, not all strokes, we're talking now about a subset of stroke patients that have their stroke being caused by this, large vessel being included at the base of the brain. There are other strokes that are due to, so stroke just means a part of your brain is being damaged. So that can be through blood supply being cut off, lack of oxygen to that, part of the brain. It can be due to a bleed in the brain. So that's a whole other team and stuff that we're expert in as well at the hospital with neurosurgery colleagues. So this evaluation, the main message is really, like you said, number one would be, it'd be great, healthy living, healthy lifestyles that prevent strokes. So that's the number one thing, is try to prevent it in the first place. And then, but if, you're having one, then get to the experts. Let us figure out, what the cause of that is and whether there's a treatment that, we can do for you.
It's like you said, because, I've had some health challenges, and I do take care of myself. Yeah. You just don't know what contributes to what. And when you say evaluation, what is the best, where does it start? If you feel reasonably healthy and you're listening right now and you're like, well, where do I begin with discovering if there is something going on that would lead to a stroke? Run with it, Dr. Wynn.
Sorry, could you repeat that last bit again?
Where the evaluation of, say that the listener right now, they're like, well, I don't recognize that I would be prone to a stroke. Yeah. So, what is an indicator? I think when we're going to talk to Corinne here shortly, I don't think she had any indicators, right? So, where does it?
Yeah, what are we looking for? So, screening assessments that the public can use.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some, awareness campaigns, particularly the FAST campaign, so that is focused on simplifying the presenting symptoms of stroke, so that regular everyday people are able to recognize when a stroke happens. All right, it's important those patients get into a hospital as quickly as possible, so people like Dr. Baxter and others can treat them. So things like, if we look specifically at the FAST screening tool, F stands for face, right? So if you get any drooping of the face,
right, that's the common one we know of.
That's a common
yes.
one. So people often with that facial weakness will have a bit of slurring of the speech as well. A stands for the arm. So if your arm suddenly stops working,
and is that predominantly going to be your right arm?
No,
or it could be either.
Depending on what side of the brain is affected.
Okay.
So your right brain controlling
there you go.
left.
Yeah.
So it's just have someone smile, show your teeth, that kind of thing. That exposes this facial problem. Have someone say, "Hey, just lift up your arms," and you'll see which arm is affected.
Okay.
Yeah, and S is for speech. So if often people will say that they know what words they want to get out, but they're just not coming out, right? And can happen in that manner, but also that their speech, it does come out, but it just doesn't sound right. So those are real crucial things for family members, for friends, for people who are nearby to recognize. And then the most important of all those is the T, and that stands for time. And stroke is one of these conditions where if it happens, these patients need to seek medical attention immediately, because as we said, Dr. Baxter mentioned 2 million neurons are dying each minute. So we need to try and get that artery unblocked, whether it be through medication or through the special procedure that's being done at Erlanger Hospital.
Let me just say the T, time to call 911. That's what the time is. So 911 activation. This is not like drive someone to the hospital, let's get in the car. Time to call
911.
Yeah.
And I have to give a quick shout out to Erlanger as far as their 911 abilities. I have toured there. I've heard your CEO speak several times, and I just get so excited and I get overwhelmed with the amazing technology that's there. But with the helicopter system now, where there's helicopters all over the area, so they don't have to leave the hospital and come get you. There is a helicopter in proximity. So when you make that 911 call, they can get to you quick and get you to the hospital, and that's just amazing.
Yeah, and I do want to just brag on that. I'm so proud that the hospital has been so supportive of this program. Like you said, the neuroscience program, and the administration has invested. That Erlanger really, like you said, the dispatch center, we call it the EROC Center, is world class. Is really I've been around the world. I have not seen a center that parallels this, and we have it right here in Chattanooga. It is a world class program of how they coordinate EMS efforts. So there's now 6 helicopters that are dedicated to Erlanger, bringing patients in from a 50,000 square mile and catchment area, and it's an amazing network. So that's
incredible.
So it is very so they've done an outstanding job. So it's really amazing.
Wow. And so I just want to remind our listener about FAST. It's face, arm, speech, and time. So do pay attention to those symptoms. And if those are there, it's a 911 event.
Right.
I think that it might be a really good time for us to invite Ms. Corinne over here. Share a little bit about her story.
We always talk about stroke, and then when I'm giving a talk, then I show a video of a patient we can't show that obviously for Ms. Stanton, but we definitely have the post right here in front of us. So you have to believe me.
You hang close, Dr. Winters. Don't go anywhere.
When I first got to meet her, she did not look like this. She was obviously having a major life-altering event. It's very impactful. People could actually see someone in the acute nature of their event. It's pretty profound. And I think for a lot of patients, I'll take a little video, show them. They don't even know what was going on or how they were impaired. But we'll let her tell her story. So
go ahead, Corinne. So tell us how your experience happened.
All right. Hi, I'm Corinne Stanton, and I live in Ottawa, Tennessee. And I was at work one night about a year ago. got up to get my dinner. I was talking to somebody. I work at a retirement home. And I stood there for a few minutes and was talking to her. And in my brain, I said, I don't feel good. I need to sit down. I wasn't dizzy or wasn't sick to my stomach or anything. Just something wasn't right. So I walked quite a little ways to get down to where I had to sit. And as soon as I sat down, the resident said to me, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No, I don't think so." And that was the last time I talked that night, anyhow, until I had a trip to Erlanger. She ran quickly to my popcorn angel that was leaving that night. She never gets popcorn, but she did that night. So she came running and she knew right away. She's a healthcare worker and she knew something was wrong. And I remember seeing her get on the phone and call 911. But in my head, I didn't really know what was going on. I knew I wasn't able to talk, but so I heard her say, "You get here in less than 5 minutes." And as far as I knew, they were there. I mean, I was in and out. So I couldn't say exactly everything that went on, but I do remember the ride to the hospital and getting in and out of the ambulance, going into the examination room at Erlanger. I knew it was Erlanger. And I got upset because they took my shoes off. And I thought, why are they taking my shoes off? But I knew I was in big trouble, but it wasn't connecting to what was going on.
Well, Dr. Baxter, speak to that. Is that a common?
Yeah, absolutely. So the patient obviously is having a major, dysfunction of their brain. Often can't communicate to you, clearly can't communicate to others. So that's the importance of other people knowing what FAST means, is that they have to kind of recognize it, call 911. The patient can't be the one that's, if they can't speak, then they are not going to be able to activate that system, so very important. So Corinne got in, thankfully, everything happened very quickly for her, came in, we went right to treatment. So we aim for a door to treatment time of trying to get this vessel open within, 90 minutes of your presentation, at the hospital. And so that all went, smoothly for her. And so the amazing thing, we get to witness the miracle, like on the table. All that dysfunction that she was having just starts to correct once the blood flows back. So she started speaking on the table. And
I love that we're on YouTube and Facebook as well. But take my word for it, those that are listening on radio, that Corinne just looks as healthy as she can be, and with her beautiful smiling face. And we have ran out of time. I want to have you guys back. This is phenomenal. I want to share more about this. I want to help people to be aware of FAST, of face, arms, feet, time. And I just thank you so much for joining me on here today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. It's great. Appreciate it.
Y'all hang with us. We've got some more great guests after the break.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240.